So I'll do is try back again here to bring you another video. This one's going to be talking about UFC 148, Rich Franklin versus Kung Lee. It's going to be a fight video prediction. Want to step away. I've been doing a lot of Walking Dead videos lately for anybody who watches that show or my channel or subscribes. I wanted to get back in MMA a little bit, although there's not too much going on. Most of the fights coming up I've already done predictions for in my channels. But this one was one that was just announced the other day, and I thought this is a good matchup. I mean, when you look at it, Kung Lee was supposed to be the guy to come to the UFC from Strikeforce and really do well. Use his kickboxing, his Sancho new style we haven't really seen in mixed martial arts too much outside of what he does. He uses a lot of interesting kicks. He's got some spinning back kicks and just a lot of very unorthodox strikes that we don't see a lot in MMA. So obviously, a lot of people love to watch Kung Lee fight. I am one of them. I absolutely love some of his fights in Strikeforce against Scott Smith. That spinning back kick he caught him with to the side and downed him. I mean, that's kind of stuff that we just don't get to see often. How many times you see a guy throw like a Taekwondo spinning back kick like that and down somebody from it? I mean, even Anderson Silva doesn't do that very often. So, really cool to see that kind of stuff. Came in the UFC against Vanderlei Silva. Everybody expected him to win. I mean, almost everybody, except for like diehard Vanderlei fans. Everybody else was like, yeah, okay. Kung Lee's going to take this fight. Ended up getting upset and beat pretty bad by the Axe Murderer. The thing about it is that Vanderlei, he stayed around, he stayed relevant and everything like that, but is he the same fighter he used to be? I personally, I don't think so. Even though he says, he's done well, except for the fight against Chris Leben, I personally just feel like he pretty much is, just a shell of his former self. I really don't think that that at this point Vanderlei is the same old axe murderer that he used to be. That he was in Pride. As soon as he came to UFC, you started to see it, the decline, and then about 7 or 8 years, mixed martial artists really have. After that, he started to decline, and after 10 to 15 years, usually they can't even fight anymore. I mean, even look at Fedor, look at guys who started young. John Jones in 10 years, what'll he be like? Who knows? But he probably won't be champion in 10 years from now. I mean, pretty much guaranteed he won't be champion in 10 years, 5 years. Probably not, maybe, but only if he's an anomaly compared to a lot of the other guys, which, well, he could be. But anyway, that's another topic. But yeah, so what does that show us about Kung Lee? Well, until then, we haven't really seen Kung Lee fight any of the big, heavy hitter UFC stars until then. And he really should have won that fight. So he didn't. Now he's going to get another chance to redeem himself against, Rich Franklin. How does he match up? Well, Rich Franklin is a really well-rounded fighter. He's got great cardio. He's got good stand-up. He's got good boxing. He's fast. He's light on his feet. He can move in, move out with great combinations. He's got a great, right hook. He's a southpaw. So I remember, the knockout, the famous Jesus knockout, if you guys remember that. Nate Quarry, I think it was. He hit him with a right, it was a right hook or right straight. I forget exactly, maybe a straight. And he knocked him out. When he knocked him out, Nate Quarry's arms went up like that, like he was crucified, and just fell down. We called it the Jesus knockout, just because it just looked like that, like he was crucified. It was just a great knockout. Then, of course, his knockout with a broken arm against Chuck Liddell was an awesome knockout. His fights against Anderson Silva, being able to stay in there against Anderson and put on a decent showing. I mean, nobody else has been able to really do that. I mean, well, Chael Sonnen by taking him down, but not stand up with him. Nobody else was able to really do that. And Vitor's, what he did for a moment or two, I don't consider that really standing. I mean, that was pretty bad. So, who am I going to pick in this fight? It could go either way. I love to see Kung Lee win this fight because I just think he's a great matchup for Anderson Silva. He's a great matchup for Anderson Silva. Getting to see him against Anderson Silva would just be like a dream matchup for everybody. Everybody would want to see that because that's just really an interesting match. But will it happen? I don't think so. I just think there's too many guys. Kung Lee losing to Vanderlei, it could have been, you could say it was like a fluky loss. I didn't get the sense it was a fluky loss at all. I got the sense that, he genuinely gave it his best and just got beat down. Because when you go from, like the B tier to the A tier, like you might be the best guy at the B level, you come to the A level and you're just another guy. And that's the unfortunate part about life and about, sports like that. Guys can look so great when they're at one organization, come to another and get thwomped. I mean, Fedor for how many years looked like he was just the best ever, and then just started to fight some top guys, and before you knew it, he was losing 3 in a row. Now he wasn't the downslope of his career, but I'm pretty sure Cung Lee's pretty old too. I don't know his age. I have to look that up, but he's pretty on in the years too as well. So he's no spring chicken. This fight I got to pick Rich Franklin. He's more experienced, more seasoned. He's not doing acting stuff on the side. He's not shooting kung fu movies and stuff and playing parts like that. He's just doing MMA. MMA is not something you can switch back and forth from. Rampage, kind of showed that you can't. When you're an MMA fighter, you have to only be an MMA fighter. You can't be doing other stuff and coming back. I just personally, I don't think it works. And even though I want Cung to win this fight, betting man, you got to pick Rich. The percentages, I'd say I probably go 60% chance for Rich, 40% for Cung. Want Cung to win, but I just don't see it happening. Let me know what you guys think about the fight, and for more predictions, please subscribe to my channel. Later, guys. Peace.